Hello guys and welcome to this new video. This is basically going to be how I set up my standard guard builder for all the supports, and why would I even want to do that, because who does that? But yeah, I just wanted to share this little tip with you. This is going to save you seconds getting out of the fountain, and it's kind of going to add up over the course of a game, and definitely over the course of many games. And you have to remember, every second that you're wasting in the fountain is seconds you're not spending pressuring the enemy, and essentially pressure equals into map pressure, of course, and then you just kind of win off that. So the more pressure you can get because you spend less time in the fountain, the better. If you're one of them person that can just buy your items from, because you're some kind of ninja and you're just used to playing RuneScape or something, sure, this video is not for you. But if you're a normal pleb like me that can't really navigate the shop and tend to use way too much time thinking about what I want to buy and that stuff, this video is for you. So I just have a guard builder set up for pretty much any guard I'll play in the support role. Now I have a very specific pattern I use on every single guard if I can, and I'm gonna try and kind of explain it. So let's take a guard like Ares. What goes, well, specifically, like what I do for all my standard guard builders is that I have the ward here and the central ward down here. This is basically because I get my Guardian's Blessing, I get my relic of choice. This is the relic I'll most likely pick up. And then I get my healing potions and my wards. I'm getting the wards because in competitive you usually ward at the start, and also just kind of want my ward on there. And what's it called? This makes it so if I start the game and I need to go out of base really fast and I need to ward, I can just click like bam bam, double click, hit Guardian's Blessing, Heavenly Wings, healing potions on my wards, and then I'm going to be out of base in like 5 seconds at the start of the game. And that means you're actually going to be so fast out of base that it's very unlikely that the enemy team is going to get you caught warding or whatever. So that's kind of reasoning for the ward, and not just like a mana potion or multi potion or something like that. Then I have my relics down here and my sentry ward, because what the whole purpose of this is that every time you press I, you go to the store. You don't want to go to like all items. You just want to be able to buy your build every single game of this. Of course, there is some scenarios where you want to go to somewhere else, but this isn't limited to these items, right? Because on Sovereignty you also have Emperor's Armor, so like it's one less click than if you have to go all items, scroll or whatever, and then find Emperor's Armor. It's faster to click on Sovereignty and then click on Emperor's Armor. Or let's say Spirit Rope, maybe you want the Magi's Blessing, then it's just faster to go on to click on your Spirit Rope on your standard build and then get the Magi's of that. So what you essentially want to try and do, this right here is your 8 item spots. You want to get your core down, you want your boots. I like to include Gone the Thieves, not saying you should go Gone the Thieves at all in every game. You shouldn't. I made a video specifically for that. Go ahead and watch that. We'll put a link down in the description. And then I'm going to have my physical defense item, which is Sovereignty in most cases, although in some cases it's going to be Lotus Crown, thinking Terra, thinking Hell, thinking Sylvanas. And then you're going to have, usually this is going to be your magical defense, but because Stone and Binding is so good on a guard like Ares, you kind of want to include it here. And then down here you're going to have your magical defense, right? Spirit Rope, Wingblade, and then Jade Emperor's Crown. Jade Emperor's could be something else in this scenario, but you're going to have your Wingblade. This is also going to be your Relic Dagger and everything. Spirit Rope, so you have the whole Mandel tree or whatever you want to call it. Hard Ward, and then whatever you really want here. It's kind of guard dependent. You could say, well, this could be a Gem of Isolations, because a guy like Kalas likes to build Gem of Isolation. But every guard is pretty much set up like this, where you have your different options, kind of. And you can see an Archu. I don't have the Jade Empress, but I have Genji's Guard instead, because I really like Genji's Guard on her. And then I want a fast way to buy that, whereas if I want Shogun's Kusari, a Genji's Guard or something like that on Ares, or even only Hunter's Guard, you do have to go into all items. But this is like 95% of the games I play, I don't have to leave this page here, because I can just get all the items I need off this, and it makes it's so much more. The overview you get is so much less confusing being in base and just quickly being able to navigate rather than navigating through all the items, because there is a lot of useless items that you're never going to buy, right? Because then you go all items, then you go physical defense, and then you click that 3 clicks. But if I just have it up on my standard, I just click on Sovereignty and I get it. And even if I want like Emperor's Armor or something else, I'll click on Sovereignty, then I'll get Emperor's Armor, then I'll get my Guardian Mail. So it varies. I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of all my guard builders. So you have Archer here, you guys should just pause the video if there's any specific one that you want. But you can see the pattern here is that these are always the same, although this is going to be blink on someone, and this might be in another scenario. And then the relics I think I'm most likely going to use on this guard. You always want, you have to have the wards in the same place, the boots in the same place. It's kind of muscle memory. You could go super try hard and make sure that these items are always in the same place. For me, I always have choose to focus on golden thieves here, and then these 6 items are kind of the variables or whatever. You could say that I want my Mantle of Discord or Spirit Robe, I always want it in this spot or whatever. I'm not that into it, but it definitely helps. And you can ask me, well, EmilZy, isn't it just, I might as well just go to all items and find my item, right? But in my opinion, at least, like, that's gonna take longer, and that means you're not getting out of base. And as I said in the beginning, every second you spend in the fountain is a second you don't spend farming, it's a second you don't spend pressuring, and pressure is essentially just what wins you smite games, right? So you're gonna see, I think if you are one of those people that are super slow at getting out of the base, try this out. Again, this applies for all roles. I mean, I'm not an ADC main, so I haven't set up for my ADCs. I only do it for the guards I think can work in the in the support role. But you can set up for your ADC, you can set up for your solos or whatever. You guys can see I've set up for a guard like Hell, right? This right here. I have Baron Samdi, of course. Still kind of exploring a bit with Baron, and it just kind of, it really helps out. And it was this small trick that I wanted to share with you guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and see. Is there anything I want to mention? I guess like one of the things that can get a bit hard is when you get to those physical guards like Saket or Nasha or Amaterasu, where you have a few more options at least. Whereas on supports, if you want physical defense, you're either gonna buy like from the House of the Nemean Lion tree, or you're gonna buy from the Sovereign tree, right? And you're not really ever gonna buy Jade Empress. I guess you can buy Lotus Crown, right, if you're playing a healer. But on physicals, there's a lot more items to build, so it gets kind of rough sometimes to see what you want to build. But in general, again, it's just the same pattern. It's my most used relic, and then kind of the other relics are used on this guard. Usually if I'm playing a guard that doesn't have a leap or something, I'll go Phantom. If I'm playing a guard where I need Blink, I'll go Blink. I always have Shell. Always put Shell there, because like you're always gonna want Shell. It's one of the most like one of the relics you kind of almost always want. So make sure you keep that there. But let's keep showing guards here. Cerberus is one of them guards as well, where I think Stone of Binding is super important. So I put that very high up. Stone of Binding does make it a bit awkward though, because I feel like you lose the spot. On a guard like Fafnir here, one thing we actually could do is, I'm not going to be that likely buying Jade Empress Crown anymore, because I don't really like that. I'm going to be more, possibly more willing to buy Stone of Binding. So you kind of need to update them all the time. I have a few that are a bit outdated. You can see Ganesha here. He probably needs some new boots, probably want to go choose a focus. I'll put a video up really soon on boots. I'm trying to make all these videos right now that are just like quality of life videos, where I just answer you guys most asked questions. It's like when to rotate, level 1 relics. We're gonna update the whole boots document, because people asking when to go, what boots, whatever. But yeah, again, it takes a while, but once you've done your first few guards, you really get into it. And it just goes super fast. I sat and did this in all my queues, and it really saves you a lot of time. It's very nice, and it's just so much easier as well than having to like click all over. It also, like, what I usually see people do is just press I, and then like they kind of lazy back, because they know that they take a lot of time to find their items. You kind of negate that as well, because you're always gonna know that these spots right here is going to be your 6 variables, and then you're going to have these items here that are always going to be here. Sure, like the relics can change, but the relics are not further away. Then you click on heavily, and then you have all the relics over here on your right anyway. Khepri, you can see that's the Khepri build right there. Actually, you got Beast on Khepri in case you got CC'd. You have Kumba, you have Kusenbo, and I think I'm going to go into a jungle practice field fast and just show you guys what I'm talking about. Again, make sure you pause the video if you want any of these like auto builds or whatever from me. Again, these do change, and some of them might be slightly off. But in general, I think they're pretty damn good. Again, just because I have Phoebes first doesn't mean that I'm gonna buy Phoebes. And I'm not gonna add items down here. I don't think you should either, because that means you have to start scrolling and stuff, and you really don't want to do that once you're in the game. So I would recommend not to do that. Is there any guards we've missed? I guess there's like Odin, if I did one for Odin. Yeah, I did one for Odin. And then there's gonna be Achilles. Done one for Achilles. And Nike? I don't think I have one for Nike. No, I don't. And there's one guard I actually did miss. It's Nux. But yeah, I'm gonna go into a jungle practice. I'll see you then. Alright, so as you guys can see, I'm now into the game here, jungle practice. So when I press I, you see, again, we don't want items down here, because then we have to scroll. But this right here is what it's gonna look like every time. And what I've been talking about is if you want to buy sovereignty, or like you want to buy Emperor's armor, then if you have to press all items, physical, and then you have to like, oh, where's Emperor's armor? Here it is. Then it's a lot easier to be in your recommended, go sovereignty, Emperor's armor, buy, because you know that Emperor's armor is always going to be the most to the right. Lotus crown, you can just kind of click it. So what I usually do when I have to run out of base, let's say we are at the lane minions, I want to get super fast out of base and I want to ward. Maybe this game I'm going to want to upgrade the sprint, so I'll get sprint 2, and then I'll just buy some pots, and right here that's 1500 gold, and then I'm just free. You see how fast that goes. Let's say I'm gonna clear this wave. Oh, I'm got ganked. I need to back. Whatever, dog. All right. So usually you'd like have to find your items. Okay, I'm gonna go boots. But if you back, you can like pay attention to your surroundings, because you know that your boots and recommended is always gonna be here, and then you can go ahead and like literally buy your boots. So I think it's a super neat little trick. And it's very tiny, but it's gonna save you a lot of time in the long run. So I definitely like recommend doing that. I don't know what this is. I'm stacking my items, I guess. Again, you're back, you're like, oh, am I gonna go Phoebes this game? You think in your brain, am I gonna go Lotus Crown? Okay, I might wanna go Lotus Crown, then you buy your Lotus Crown and you're off. And I guess another good example we can do is now we're gonna back. We're gonna sell our potions, and let's say we're back again. You want to back now, you're paying attention to your surroundings, and then we're going to get a second item. We're going to get hard ward, we're going to get a sentry ward and a ward, and off we go. Let's try and see if we have to do that off the main menu, or the all items. Let's see how much longer that takes. So we back, we go all items, and then we go hard ward, and then we're going to go grab a ward and normal ward. You guys see how much slower that is? It's almost like twice as slow. Of course, I'm so used to just having recommended now. But it really helps me, and it's like muscle memory that I know the ward are here, the sentry ward is here, guardians is here. I have all my items, and I kind of know where they are. So really, I always kind of stand in base and wait for the ticking to like, so I'm full health and full mana. And usually I'm always paying attention. I'm not in the item store when I'm backing, because that's like a thing where a lot of people just tend to get caught out, right? So right now I want to back. I'm gonna go ahead and buy sovereignty. Whatever, and you're off, you know. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you think this is a cool trick? Is there anything you want to add to it? Anything you think I missed? Make sure to leave a comment. And if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and press the bell. And until next time, everyone, peace out.